deep inside. Be patient for the lower tide. Look inside. Keep your head up in the rising tide. Deep inside. Be patient for the lower tide.
Greetings and welcome to Jesse I Interviews. As always, I'm producing this podcast on the unceded lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation in the city of Naarm, aka Melbourne, Australia. This interview features an artist that I don't expect all that many listeners of the podcast to be familiar with, the French reggae singer Dougy. He's been making music for more than a decade already, but as he himself would acknowledge, he's still an upcoming artist, working hard to take his career to the next level. He has been having some real success though, and he was here in Australia just last month, touring with the Swiss reggae sound crew Little Lion Sound, who I featured on the last episode of the podcast. This interview with Dougy was recorded at the same time as that one, from a hotel room in South Melbourne. Like the interview with Little Lion, this is obviously a very different interview to the usual Jamaican artists, but I found it an enjoyable and interesting one all the same. Let's do it. Jesse I interviews Dougy in December 2025. So right now I'm joined by the singer Dougy. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me.
Thank you so much to have me.
Now I always like to start my interviews at the beginning. I'd like to ask you where you were born and what life was like for you growing up.
I was born in France, in Bordeaux, southwest of France. And I had a peaceful youth. I was living in kind of the countryside in between the city and the ocean. So it was like a small town with some people, and it was pretty peaceful. Nothing much to do, but yeah, very nice place.
And how did you come to discover reggae music? How old were you when you first got into reggae?
So the first time I ever discovered it was on a cassette from my father. It was a cassette of Bob Marley, and I was listening to it in my bed at night time, and I was like, wow, this is crazy music. I loved it so much, and especially the song Time Will Tell back in the days. And after I just kept on listening some other styles, but when I really discovered reggae music and especially Jamaican music, it was with some friends of my neighbor. So I was going to my neighbor's place, and some friends of her, they were having a guitar and playing some skank and just freestyling, and that's how I discovered reggae music, singing and everything, and I loved this freestyle session, and I wanted to try it because I was feeling like it was thriving. So that's how I got the first real interest into this music, and then from then I started to try to listen to some Jamaican artists and search for some and everything, and yeah.
So what were the first artists that really connected for you when you were checking Jamaican music then?
I was kind of like just picking songs because it was not easy to find like albums and stuff. Like I was searching on internet, and it was like back in the days it was like this downloads, like a kind of weird downloads. You only find one song here and there, and you try to download it, but it doesn't work. And so I was just picking songs. I didn't know which song it will be, just I tried to find the name of the artist, but many songs, they were really average, so I just had to pick in between everything. But I would say like the songs who really impacted me back in the days were the Welcome to Jamrock song, for example, from David Marley, or Anthony B. It was a song World Reggae Music. This one, I really love Jamaican as well. Michalwa, this kind of songs, like I really enjoyed the kind of fire that there was in this type of reggae music, New Era 2010 or something. And this like was really talking to me, so I could relate to this music, like fiery music kind of.
Yeah, I hear you. How old were you then?
I would say 17, 18.
Right.
I discovered pretty late,
Now, when I first met you, you were in Byron Bay, and you were singing back then a lot with the 420 sound. So how did you come to be, singing reggae music in Byron Bay on the other side of the world from where you grew up?
So from this time I was discovered the reggae music, and I started to kind of try to freestyle with the friends. I started to try and write some songs. So I just wrote like maybe 2-3 songs before I go to Australia, and I was trying to learn how to play skank on my guitar. So I practiced this, and I was able to do a skank and just to sing some songs. So I went to Australia to travel with some friends because I wanted to discover the world, and Australia was a good place for it, as a friend told me. So I was going there because just wanted to go for a year, and then I ended up in Byron Bay after a few weeks traveling with my friends, and we enjoyed so much the vibe in there, like kind of all the ocean. We love the ocean back home, so we were just like wanted to surf there, and as well kind of the creativity that was like full on in the town, and for musicians, but as well for other kind of creativity, everything that you want to make or whatever. There was just lots of people like willing to do things together, and for me I loved the energy there. So I wanted to stay a little bit, and I went in the street after a while to make some money and busk in the street, and that's how I started to make music in Byron Bay. And from there I met some people in the street because I was going frequently, and there was a shifty from Sativa Sound who now has the label Gold Up in Jamaica, and he stopped and he told me, like, he started to freestyle with me, sing and have fun, and then he told me, I'm playing in this bar this weekend. It was the Buddha bar back in the days, like exactly where we played with Little Lion Sound last week.
Right.
So it was pretty cool because it was the first time I came on stage and sing on the sound system, and now we got to do it back 6 years after. No, not even 6 years, like 12 years after, because it was 2013 this.
Yeah, right.
And then I said, okay, I want to play with you, but you don't tell me what you're gonna play, and I'm gonna freestyle everything. So I was just like improvising on stage, and just in French, because that's how I used to like it back in the days. And just starting to do it, and then he invited me on every show he had. So I followed him, and I started to sing a sound system like this.
So this was with Shifty. This wasn't with 420. Is that right?
The first time, with Shifty. Yeah.
Right. Okay. But you kept playing with him, or you started working? When did you work with 420? So
after Shifty, I met Janali from Little Lion Sound.
Yep.
Who was in Byron Bay back in the time as well.
Okay.
And I started to play with Janali as well.
Okay.
And Oren, a selector from 420 Sound,
yep,
was living in the Arts Factory like me, and so we were both in the campground there, and we started to meet each other. And he was organizing some parties in the parking of the Arts Factory by night.
Okay.
And me, I started to do sound system and stuff, but he was more into the dubstep music back in the days.
Okay.
And then after a while, he started to play reggae as well, and to play in the reggae parties organized by Raz back in the days.
Raz Bin Sam.
In the Buddha bar, and Sativa Sound, Little Lion Sound, and Oren, we were all playing, and me, we were all playing there all together. And that's how we met as well into the reggae music.
Okay.
And then all these people left, but Oren and me, and I wanted to keep playing, so I went to see a bar, and then the bar told me, like, okay, you can play in my bar, but you need to bring people, and I'll give you a residency every week if you bring people. So I brought the whole Arts Factory in there. I thought, okay guys, we have a place to party. Let's just go there, and every week we have it. And from there, I created a band where I was playing guitar and singing with Oren on the bass, Cyprian on the keyboard, who's part of the 420 Sound as well, and an Australian guy on the guitar called Bonham. And we created our first band, and we went to the bar and started to play, and it was full up, and so we had the residency. And the week after, I asked Oren to play DJ after the band, and then we started to do band and DJ the reggae nights. and it was called the Boomfire Nights back in the days.
I remember that name.
And I ran it for almost 2 years, and we invited all the other reggae artists in the area that we could hear about to play with us, to share the stage and stuff. And we were called the Boomfire Crew back in the days. And Baptiste joined us as well. And we were these three guys, like Oren as a selector and us two as MCs. And it was the trio like this, kind of the sound system thing, hosting the night. And there was some other bands playing. And after, when I left Australia, and I gave the organization to Oren of the Reggae Nights, then it started to be the Reggae Mondays, and the 420 sound was born at this time.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But did you leave Byron Bay and then come back again later?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense now.
Yeah, I did that many times because for 2 years I was there, and then after I left to France for 3 years to actually learn about music, because I didn't know nothing about music before that.
Right.
And I started to go and do 35 hours a week music, like a kind of a formation, professional formation for 2 years. And meanwhile I was creating a band there, so, and I even had 2 bands, started to play together, and also releasing my first EP, the EP Boomfire, with the song with Mr. Savona, and yeah, trying to develop music in France after that. And in 2017 or 16, Oren called me and said, okay, the Reggae Nights, they got so big now, you have to come back. You'll be the MC, host MC for the summer. We pay you the flight. You come in 2 months. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, because in France it was like pretty hard to keep up with the music. Like it was going good for us, but there was no money at all. It was pretty rough. And he said this. He said, now we have hundreds of people every week, and we have internationals. There is Naman playing the week before you come, and I was like, okay, man, I can't refuse that. And so I started to come back, and for 4 years on a row after that, every summer I was there, and I was just coming back for the summer in France and flying back to Australia to host the Reggae Nights with 420 Sound.
That's pretty cool, man. That's a pretty nice thing to do. Come to Australia for summer every year.
Yeah.
Because I remember that's what I was trying to think about. The time when I met you must have been, I think the first time I went to Byron Bay and played at Double Monday night was like 2017, and then you came for the Clash in Melbourne. You came with 420 that time. That was 2018. So tell me about more recent times back in France. So you've been back there like more or less permanently for a while now. Like you don't come back to Byron anymore, do you?
No, because I started to come back, like I wanted to stay in France and do an album on my own name, because I was like always with a crew, but when I came back, everything started from scratch all the time, and I wanted to build something and to be independent with my music and start to make my music. So I started back from zero in 2019 with a project of an album project that someone offered me to produce in France. So I was okay, let's do it, and it was just before COVID. So I went back end of 2019, and 2 months after we were in lockdown. So we stayed there, but I had time to make my album, kind of. To think about it, and it was supposed to be just an acoustic album, guitar singing, and then it ended up with 12 musicians and everything, because I had so much time. But after that I wanted to reach the professional status in France as an artist. So for this you need to play 43 gigs a year in the country, and for that, like you need to stay there and play, and you need to find the gigs, play the gigs, and redo that every year to keep it. So that's why I didn't have no time at all to go and come back in Australia. And as well, since the COVID, the Reggae Mondays are gone. Like there is some events here and there, but
it's not what it was before.
Yeah, and for me it was sustainable to come back because we had gigs every week, so we knew that we will have some shows and some money to be able to stay and to keep doing it while it was now like pretty unsure, and so I was like more focused on making my music and develop my project as well with Nico, Evidence Music and Little Lion Sound, who started to help me more and more, and since 2 years, a bit more than 2 years now, we started to we made this song and released this song with Brother Culture, and then it became like a totally different world for me. So all of a sudden I had some people from the entire world listening to my music, and so I had to keep up and make the things proper after that, take the opportunity. So we made the full album Still and Solid. A year after we released it, and then since now we being very active, producing songs or releasing songs every month.
What year did that come out?
September 2023.
Okay, yeah.
And we started to release some productions with Little Lion Sound the same year, like beginning of 2023. We started to do some singles, and I released this album I was talking about, the album Lifestyle, in 2022.
Okay.
So that's where it really started for me actually to exist as an artist. Like,
tell me about the music itself. I've played your music on the radio, and I enjoy it because I love good roots reggae music, and for me this is like good roots reggae music. But how would you describe the music you make?
I think it's like there is a touch of hip hop as well, often in the like a mix of reggae and hip hop in the rhythms I love, the instrumentals I love, because it gives a bit more drive. The rhythm has some drive, so it can. I love to ride the rhythm and give some energy as well.
Yep.
So I would say this music would be more kind of ragamuffin style on hip hop reggae beats, which is what I love the most in the sound system style. And after, I also love the roots reggae music, really like all the singing part and everything.
Yeah.
But this is harder for me to represent it on stage, because I can do it just with my guitar, but it's a totally different vibe. And if I do it in a sound system style, you need to have the crowd who knows your music and come for you to be able to play with them and with the vibe. Otherwise, sometimes you can just lose the energy and kind of flop the momentum. Right. So I cannot really do it. Like, I do maybe one or two in my set, but I cannot allow myself to do more unless the people they pay the place and they come for me, and I know they will listen to me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier about singing in French in the early days. How do you feel these days about the balance between singing in English and French?
Well, when I started, I only sang in French. I had absolutely no songs in English. Yeah. And when I stayed in Australia after, I wrote only in English, because I was frustrated that no one understood what I was singing. Yeah. And then after, I came back to France with an EP with only English songs, and no one was understanding what I was saying. So it took me a while that the people actually understand what I sing. Yeah. And for me to realize that people understand what I sing, because I was only focusing on melodies and how to do something like, I'm gonna bring them into my world and they will understand nothing, but they still have to come to my world. So I try to catch with the energy and with the musicality. And now that I'm back in France, I start to write back in French. But writing in French is way harder than writing in English, because it's like so precise and full of nuances that you have to think way more on how to say the thing you want to say. Otherwise, like it will be it will sound not right, kind of, or sound silly, or sound weird, while in English there is more freedom with the language, which is nice, nice feeling to write.
Yep.
It makes things more. Everyone can kind of make his own with the words you will use and employ. They can take it, but they can kind of have a piece of imagination into it. Well, in French, if you want to do that, you have to write with images, to put an image into the lyrics. You know, you can't. The imagination has nothing. Has no place into the French writing, so it's kind of hard to write in French, and you have to think a lot of it. But I love it as well because you can go really deep in a sense. So I write songs in French, but it's like I will write 5 songs in French and I will release 1 or 2 because it's too hard to. It's very hard to write in French.
Interesting.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Jamaican patois? Because that's always a contentious thing for foreign artists to sing in patois. And some people can do it, like Gentleman and Alberosi, whatever. But then others, can't do it. How do you feel about patois? And does that have a place in your music?
Yes, it has, and it's like, you never actually really know how to take it because, for me, I learned English in Australia, so I was more likely to write songs in English, but at first, and patois I learned it by listening to reggae music and speaking with people and trying to, and I don't master it perfectly. I know it, but as well as English. But I can write in patois, I can write in English. The only thing is sometimes I feel like more writing in English depending on what I want to say. If I want to say something deeper, I will write in English. If I want to say something more a kind of I don't know, authentic or into the reggae feeling that I have, if it's more into the reggae feeling or the dancehall feeling, I will write in patois. But there is some songs, for example, I wrote a song called Look Inside, and this song is with a deeper sense. And it's fully English. There is no patois in there, and it just depends of how I feel the things. And it's the same with French. Sometimes I write in French because I feel it this way. Right. So it just depends. And after I still have my accent. When I sing, it's not as obvious than when I talk, but still I have my accent. And the thing is, for me, I try not to think too much about it because when I started to release songs with Evidence Music and Little Lion and have this big audience international, I received a lot of love, but also a lot of hate. And at first it was very hurting, but then I realized it was just people being I don't know how to say, mean or just frustrated about something, but it wasn't my fault. And I was thinking as well, by talking with other artists who they all lived it, that it's kind of normal. The more you grow, the more you have a visibility, the more you're gonna get some hate and love. So it is just how it is, especially being white. A white man who sings reggae music with dreadlocks and not with an accent, and so there is a lot going on. For French people, I'm a French Rasta, which for them is a homeless people, they're associated with the homeless people, dirty, who smokes weed all day, who doesn't work, who doesn't. That's the image I have for French people. And for Jamaican people, I'm a cultural appropriator, and I'm stealing the culture,
but at the same time, though, you'll find some Jamaican people, no doubt, that see you and love that you have locks.
And for sure.
And touched by.
I mean, that's
you're talking about the haters.
The haters. That's what they're gonna attack on. But most of the time, you take this, it's 10%, and 90% is all love and love. Enjoy the music and follow me and listen to me. and now I have an audience who listens to me, like quite a lot of people compared to what he has been. It's nothing compared to Little Lion, but now it's an income, it's a regular income, because a lot of people follow me. Everywhere I come and play in France, there is always people now that I don't know that knows my music and come for me.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's the beginning of something, and it's all this work and this visibility that brings this. And I understood that you just gotta keep going your way, because actually there is some people who's gonna hate you, but there is way more that will love you. And even the bad buzz, I would say, there is some artists, we could see it in France from one video where everybody is laughing at you, but it becomes viral because of the haters.
Yeah.
Then the guys in the half of the people is laughing at them, but half of the people is loving them. And then from this bad buzz, they end up, if they stay true to themselves and to what they were, and so people just love their music, and they start to play in all the big festivals, and they have a career like they way better than yours, that you're doing it since 10 years, and then all of a sudden, but it's like the game of today. And it's like back in the days, you were like Britney Spears, everyone could do this because you were in the magazines. Now everyone is Britney Spears, you know. It goes like this. It's the world of today.
It's interesting you talking about people that are getting all the hate and everything. It made me think of, obviously I'm not comparing you to him, but it made me think of M.R.
Exactly.
Because I was watching him, like before he busts, I was watching him because I found him interesting. But he used to get so much hate on his page. I mean, he still does, but at the same time, he's eating food. Like, he's living large now because he's bust from that. And sometimes I think, like, the haters help in some ways with engagement and everything, because if they're commenting on the thing, on the post, it's still engagement. It's going to help the algorithm and everything. But that's getting off track. I'm glad that you've got that philosophical understanding of the haters versus the love, because I know from experience, like myself, you might get, like, for me with the radio show I do, we've got the text line, and I might get 20 positive comments, but then I'll get like one negative comment, and sometimes that's the one you think about. It's just that one negative comment, and it's easy to lose sight of the fact that you had 20 positive comments. But it's important to do.
Yeah, it's easier to remember the negative because it hurts.
Yeah.
While but it affects me as well. But I just try to talk about it and not keep it for myself. And it's important, I think, because the more visibility you have, like the worse you will get with the haters. But at some point, when there is too much and you know it's gonna come, and after you can kind of separate a bit from the feelings, and it's just an image actually. And Little Lion was talking about it, but you have to separate from the image and the brand that you try to share and to show, and what people perceive, because they don't know you, they don't know who you are, they don't know, they never spoke to you, they don't even know what you look like for real. They just have an image of you, and I think at this moment you're this. They can think you're a superhero as well, and you're not. It's important that to as well understand that you are not a superhero. You are not someone better than the others because you're an artist. You're just a normal person who does music, and some people, they will, because it's an image and it's something that they can relate to their feelings and everything, they can hate you for this, or they can love you for this for no reason. In the end, it has no reason with who you are. And these people who loves you, they can be disrespectful if they see you in person and come into your space, and as well. And while the hater, maybe you see him in person, he will hate you in his mind, but he will not bother you. You know what I mean? So all this has nothing to do with reality in the end, but it's hard to realize it, but it's important to understand it.
When I came in here to do the interview tonight, you were in the like portable studio. Even though you're on the road, you got the mic set up and you were practicing something. Tell me about that. The work. Like, how much time do you spend just working on your craft and practicing and all this sort of thing?
So I try to do it way more now, because being an independent artist in France, for example, and needing to have these 43 shows a year, and wanting to do albums and stuff, you have to do it all by yourself. So it takes so much time not doing music, like 80% of my time, and I have only 20% of my time left to make music. But now I realize that more and more that my music can give me some incomes, and this is the most important thing I have to do, is to make music. So now I try to make it more and more and more, and as well practice music. I used to do it more 3 years ago, when I had more time for it. But now my life has changed. I have way more responsibility as a person, because I have a family now. I have a house. I have everything and I have this French status, which demand me a lot. It's very demanding about finding gigs and everything. And if the people around you is not working, you are working good, you have to catch back every time. But since I'm giving singing lessons to beginners, it's been 5 years or 6 years. I have few students, but every time I give them some lessons, I work as well, and I always work on the basics, and it's the most important thing to do. Is like to drill the basics. And so even if I don't have much time to practice doing that, I keep on practicing and always getting better. And in my car, I always try to find the right techniques and everything. Like every time I have time for it. And now I write way more than I used to do the last 2-3 years. And now I think I have a good rhythm, and I record songs every week now when I'm home, when I'm not touring. And even when I tour, I try to write. It's just a matter of having the right instrumentals. While back in the days I didn't have nothing to write on, and now I have more opportunities, and with Evidence Music and Little Lion Sound, he provides me some good rhythms. So I just need to get it and get onto it, and then I can make songs. So now I think I have a good rhythm about it.
Nice. So tell me what's coming next.
We have a few songs with the Little Lion Sound coming out. Like tomorrow I release a song with a French artist called Baltimore, which is very talented. And then we have 2 productions with a Little Lion Sound coming out from the beginning of next year. And I'm working on a dub EP as well with Roots Tonality and Esquifaya, which are French producers as well. And we have a few other more singles that are ready to be released until June. We have songs that's going to be released until June already in the computer.
Nice. And so this trip back to Australia, you've been with Little Lion on the road for this trip. What's it been like coming back, like after all your time coming to Byron Bay on your own like that? This must be a different feeling coming on this sort of tour now. Like, do you feel like you've made it now to a different level?
It's definitely a different feeling, because back in the days it was like more staying for a long time, settling and living life, kind of like and making music, like enjoying life and making music. Like, well, right now it's way more like on the tour. Like we've been on touring since June, always on the road and making shows, and it is way nicer because it's in a country that I love, and we have some time off in between the shows, and I got to find back Byron Bay and everything. But it's way more than like work than it was back in the days. The good thing is this tour is international, and I have nothing to do for the organization, and and everything is like made with stick, and they take care of us. Like it's so good, and as well, it's nice to be with Little Lion because the conditions are good as well. And the difference is the quality of the hosting, and the fact that you don't have much to do. Someone is promoting the world tour and organizing everything, while in France they do it from far, but they're not with you.
Right.
And most of the time you have to do the work by yourself.
Right.
Like,
So here you can just enjoy performing. Focus on the fun stuff.
Yeah. So in a way, I feel that I really passed a step with being here on this position. So I give thanks.
Nice one, man. Is there any other message you'd like to pass on to the listeners?
I would say like just keep on exploring what you love, because you never know where it goes, where it's gonna bring you.
All right, respect, Dougy.
Yes, Papa.
Thank you.
Thanks to you.
We guide the greedy men looking for power and fame. Guide them, Mama Earth, guide them, universe, guide them. Only one savers in the end of the game.
Dougy speaking to me there in South Melbourne in December 2025. If you want to find his music, it's on the usual streaming services, as well as dougymusic.bandcamp.com. That's it for this episode. Thanks for the continued support from the Patreon supporters who really do keep this podcast afloat. The Don Armageddon Time, the Real General Empress Irie, and me Idrins Tom Tanaki and Ben Debney. Thanks for tuning in. Eyes every time.
Around, many rumors are quiet. Life goes on. We won't stay for too long. Hey, hey, hey. I walk and the rumors are quiet. Life goes on. I know where I belong. Hey, hey. So I'm gonna do things my way, whatever it takes. Keep it up. Consequences we have to face. It's harder when it's too personal. Still there, me have to reach me goal. We got one life to live. We take all we give. Just make sure to feel great when you leave, and stay humble. Cause all of what you perceive is your prism. Through your thoughts and beliefs.